Okay, so today we are going to be discussing Barnsley Football Club, the club that I have grown a bit of an affiliation with in these last few weeks, especially after they played Chelsea in the FA Cup a few weeks back. And obviously I'm not wearing my Chelsea jersey, but I am a Chelsea supporter for those of you who are wondering and haven't seen me before on your screens. And yeah, basically a bit about Barnsley. They are currently 5th place in the Championship at this moment in time, doing really well under a young, bright French manager called Valerian Ismael, playing some great football at times. You know, they're very brave, very enthusiastic, very attack-minded in their approach, and overall a really well-run club at this moment in time in the Championship, and are currently going gung-ho for the playoffs in the Championship at this moment in time. So it should be very interesting to see whether they actually get it or not come the end of the season. But nevertheless, it's a really good story for Barnsley, and that is exactly what I'm going to be going through in this video. So let's start off. Obviously, of course, Barnsley, as I said, are currently 5th place in the Championship at this moment in time, going for the playoffs at this moment in time, and doing really well in fairness to them. But in terms of their story, last season's where it started, of course, in this video, they were in the relegation zone for 41 games last season. 41 games, which is pretty mental if you think about it, because from match day 6 all the way up to the penultimate day of the Championship season in match day 45, they were inside the relegation places, the bottom 3 in the Championship. They escaped relegation by the skins of their teeth in the last 2 games of the season against 2 promotion hunting teams in Nottingham Forest, who were going for the playoffs, and Brentford, who were going for automatic promotion, and only survived relegation on the final day because of a Clark Odewar last minute winner, a 91st minute winner against Brentford, who of course needed to win to actually get into the automatic promotion places above West Brom, who did of course get promotion in the end. But yeah, a 91st minute winner essentially to save themselves on the last day of the Championship season. And if you add that as well to the fact that Wigan of course did get put into administration late on last season as well, and were given I think it was an 11 or 12 point deduction or something like that, and by all rights, if Wigan didn't get that points deduction, they would have actually been comfortably in mid-table. So by all means, Barnsley didn't have really any right to be in the Championship this season, but my word, are they taking their chances while they get them, because as I said, they're 5th in the Championship at this moment in time, in a league they shouldn't even be in, as I said, and they're doing really well, and I think I've caught the eye of a lot of people. And yeah, I'm one of those people that really wants Barnsley to go up as well, because I really have bought into the story. As I said, they're doing so well, and if we go into this season, it took them 8 games to win their first match in the Championship this season. And I'll take it back once again to that performance they put in against Chelsea in that 1-0 defeat. I think it was in the round of 16, but it was a few weeks ago anyway. A really good performance from Barnsley. I was really impressed as a Chelsea fan. I thought they did really well against us to actually hold us to our own. Didn't do what most teams tend to do against these kind of big clubs. I mean, obviously, I know I'm not going to brag about Chelsea being a big club, but we are a big club, and most teams, what they tend to do is kind of, wish for their luck, kind of sit back a bit, kind of hold on their laurels, and maybe hope that they don't get beat too badly. But Barnsley, in fairness to them, as I said, they were brave, enthusiastic, they went gung-ho, they were attack-minded, and actually tried to go for it and make it a game for us, and they did that really well. And overall, I was really impressed with how actually, they played, because I thought, as I said, they were brave, and they really, actually were a very good team against us, and gave us a really good challenge. And overall, I think that we were quite lucky to actually, come away with a win in some cases. And that was really when I began to take notice of this Barnsley team, because I think at that stage they were around mid-table in the Championship, and since then I've kept up to date with the results and how they've been doing in the Championship. They've won 9 of the last 11 games. Now obviously I don't think I'm doing this video at the right time, simply because of the fact that on Saturday they did lose 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday in their last game in the Championship, but nevertheless, as I said, they've won 9 of the last 11 games in the Championship, a phenomenal record. And yeah, overall I just do feel like if Barnsley were to come up, I think it would be great for football. I think it would bring a breath of fresh air to the Premier League overall. They're a smallish club just riding the football roller coaster at this moment in time. I'm sure their fans are absolutely loving it, and overall they're not really a Premier League standard squad whatsoever, and I think that's mainly what would intrigue me, because I know a lot of people would say, oh, if they come up they'll just get smashed and go straight back down and be the whipping boys of the Premier League next season. But I very much disagree, because I think that I've seen enough for them this season, and in the game against Chelsea in particular, where they'll show fight, they'll show spirit, they'll actually go for games, they'll try and outscore teams in certain cases as well. So overall I think they will actually give it a bit of a go, and not just get whipped every single week, and I don't think that they'll be as bad as people do make out them to be. And I know another argument that people will say as well is the fact that obviously they don't have a lot of money to spend, which means that they won't be able to strengthen the squad as much as other teams will if they go up, and I do agree with that to a certain extent, because I'm a firm believer, like many as well, that the fact that the transfer window and how you strengthen the squad and how you add to the squad when you get promoted obviously plays a massive factor in success or failure when you come into the Premier League from the Championship. But overall, Barnsley do use the Moneyball strategy for their transfer policy, and obviously for those of you who don't know that, it's signing players based on data analytics and basically on a restricted budget, signing players for cheap values, developing them as players and sending them on for obviously more profit, like Conor Hourihane, who's gone to Aston Villa in recent years, Ethan Pinnock, who's gone to Brentford, and there's a lot more examples as well. So they definitely would sign smart, Barnsley, and that's why I don't think that they just splash money at anything, simply because of the fact, as I said, they do use the Moneyball strategy, which can very much work for a lot of teams. It's worked for teams like Brentford, Southampton, Brighton, those kind of teams in the past. All the Red Bull equivalent teams like obviously RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg, Salzburg and New York Red Bulls, they all use the Moneyball system as well, and I think that the Red Bull, system is kind of tied into Barnsley as well due to their owners, which is very, very interesting. And yeah, I definitely do think that Barnsley would strengthen, relatively well, given the fact that they would sign smart rather than just, buying anyone. And overall, I just think they're a really, really exciting project. I really, really do. And to be honest, a lot of people's arguments once again as to why they probably shouldn't be promoted next season is a lot of people will be thinking, and I kind of agree to it to a certain extent, will it be too premature for this Barnsley project to get them into the Premier League? Maybe so, but to be honest, you have to take that gamble, and I think it would be really, really good, not only from a financial perspective, but also as an overall club for Barnsley to get promoted next season. And whether or not they get promoted this season, I do expect them to, at least be challenging for promotion in the next few years. With the way they're run, it's very, very smart, and hopefully this project can lead to the end result, which is of course getting them into the Premier League. A lot of people as well will be assuming that there'd be Premier League debutants if they were to come up, and that is definitely not the case, simply because of the fact they've already been in the Premier League. And as a matter of fact, it's actually only the one season they've been in the Premier League, was the one season in their whole history they've been in the top flight of English football. In 1997-98, they were in the Premier League. They got relegated at the first time of asking, but nevertheless, they have been in the Premier League before, which is my main point for this one. Another thing as well, the reason I want them in the Premier League, another reason as well, is the fact that they would give me pure flashbacks of my childhood. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to speak about my childhood here and be biased. Blackpool, 2010-2011, Blackpool came up. Very, very similar, scenario to Barnsley in terms of the fact they played good football on a really restricted budget. Didn't really have, the squad type to be in the Premier League. Didn't really have the depth or the quality to be a Premier League side. But they came up, they gave it a go, they played nice football, they were determined, they had team spirit, and that reminds me a lot of this Barnsley team. And that is really why I'd want Barnsley back in the Premier League, because I think it would be, a similar type of thing to Blackpool, where they would come up, give it a bit of a go, and just, make it entertaining for the Premier League viewers overall. And yeah, overall to conclude, I think it would be an absolute breath air to the Premier League to see Barnsley playing in the top flight of English football next season. I just think it'd be an absolutely amazing spectacle, seeing Barnsley host the likes of Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester City, Spurs, Arsenal, those kind of teams at Oakwell, as well as seeing Barnsley go to stadiums like Old Trafford, the Etihad, Stamford Bridge, the Emirates, Anfield, etc. I just think it would be an absolute breath of fresh air, and I do hope to see Barnsley go up, and I definitely will continue to keep an eye on their results, and hopefully they can get them through the playoffs. And yeah, so that is where we are going to leave this video. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, because it means absolutely just a lot to me. It means more than you could imagine to me. And also, if you could subscribe to the channel as well, that would be massively appreciated by myself, because we are looking to hit 1,500 subscribers on this channel as soon as we possibly can. If you were to hit that subscribe button right now, it would cost you absolutely nothing and would make my day, so it is very much a win-win situation. And I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.